There's a line in a movie, a comedy, called The Three Amigos, and one character says to another, "Could it be that you were mad about something else, and once again you're taking it out on me?" Now, when the line is delivered in the movie, it gets a laugh. But in real life, when somebody gets angry with us or takes out their anger on us because they're already mad about something else, it's not that funny. In fact, it can actually damage our relationships. Now, the same thing can happen with us. We can be angry and we can damage our relationships. Remember, we don't have a whole lot of control over other people. We barely have control over ourselves. But this is an area where we might be able to head off danger at the pass. And it works like this. You see, when you and I are provoked, just imagine that a pendulum is being elevated. And if we know how a pendulum works, it hangs from a central point, and if we pull it up a little bit, it goes back the other way when it's released, and it goes up a corresponding amount. So the farther that pendulum is elevated, the farther it swings the other way when we let go of it. Now just imagine that that pendulum, the elevation of the pendulum, is your emotional state. The condition of being angry and being frustrated. See, every time something happens to you, it's pulling that pendulum up and pulling it up higher and higher, meaning that when it finally does get let go, it's going to swing way over the other way. So it might work something like this. Let's say a man is at work, he has a difficult experience with a customer, and things don't go well, so he goes to his boss, hoping for a little comfort, and instead of taking his side, the boss says, "Well, you know, you could have done a little better job with the customer." See what just happened there? The already bad experience has now been elevated, and his frustration is a little bit higher than it was before. And then let's say he goes home, and on the way home, somebody cuts him off in traffic. Now the frustration level is way, way up. And let's say he walks into his house and the dog is on the wrong piece of furniture, and he's likely to blow up and take out his anger from the customer and the boss and the traffic all on his loyal dog. How unfair to the dog. Better than if he took it out on his wife or his child. But you see, that can happen to any of us. If we allow life's events to provoke us and we don't do anything to alleviate that provocation, it's like that pendulum is swinging higher and higher and higher. And then finally, something will set it off. And when it swings back, it doesn't just stop in the center. It goes way the other way. And we could actually do some damage to a relationship that we treasure. Let's look at one possible way that you and I can minimize that. Well, with a literal pendulum, what we might want to do is not allow it to become very elevated. See, if it comes up just a little bit, even the release is not all that dangerous because it just goes a little bit the other way. So how could you and I prevent life's troubles and life's frustrations from compounding and getting us so provoked that we take it out on the wrong people? Well, here's a possible way. Reinterpret what's happening around us. Instead of assuming that it's frustration, which requires us to be more provoked, to build up more and more, what if we could change our frustration into something else that would keep us more centered? Well, the life coach and motivational speaker Jim Rohn tells a story about how he changed from feeling frustration with life's problems to feeling instead fascination. And he recommends that you and I do the same, that we become fascinated when things go wrong around us. And his story goes something like this. He said he was on the way to catch an airplane, and he had the worst traffic jam that he'd ever experienced. He had allowed enough time to get to the airport, but as the seconds ticked by, it became apparent that he was going to miss that plane. And that's what happened. He missed the plane. Now he says what happened next, though, changed him forever. Because by getting on a different plane, a whole series of very fortunate events unfolded that he never could have experienced had he not missed the plane. he said what that did for him is that now, when he's on his way to the airport and things are not looking good, instead of being frustrated, he finds himself fascinated. In fact, he says, I wonder what fortuitous events are going to unfold in my near future. Now, could we learn something from that? Could you and I reinterpret all the frustrating things that happen to us each day? And instead of being angrier and angrier with each successive event, could we become more fascinated with everything that happens to us? Well, admittedly, this won't be easy, but what a better way to live. You see, by being fascinated when something bad or problematic happens to us, the pendulum does not elevate. It stays pretty much right in the center. We are enjoying our life, and that means that we're never going to get over here to where all that energy is available to swing the other way and hurt someone that we love. So try that. In fact, see if you can't interpret frustrations as fascination, and to the degree that you can, your nervous system will thank you. Your psyche will thank you. Your dog might thank you. And all of those close to you will appreciate very much that you never get out of control, so that you never swing over to the other side and take out your anger on someone who does not deserve it. Remember, not frustration, but fascination.